Social perspectives and expectations have existed and developed throughout centuries in England. These ideologies have influenced the texts produced by writers in different eras, challenging the values. Porphyria's Lover and My Last Duchess are poems by Robert Browning which reflect the society of the Victorian era. In contrast, We Come Apart by Sarah Crossan and Brian Cunningham is a contemporary text reflecting Brexit England. Cultural and historical values are depicted as a doomed romance. These composers have utilized language and conventions to display an interpretation of society in those times. The texts tell intriguing stories of doomed romance, which engages the audience into an eventful experience. But how exactly does a doomed romance reflect these values? First, we will explore the Victorian era, an era of male dominance and power. My Last Duchess tells the story in the perspective of Duke Ferrara. The form of a dramatic monologue and consistent use of rhyming couplets displays his high status. He is a man very capable of utilizing control. Interactions with the Duchess are banned with one command. In this quote, semicolons are used between phrases. The short and sharp tempo presents an emotionless and heartless impression of the Duke. It also suggests immediate response to the Duke's words, implying his power, which people fear to disobey. Ideology of powerful men is presented here. Another idea is expectations of women. In the eyes of the Duke, her smiles are seen as an act of seduction. This graceful imagery is filled with beauty, however, it defies the expectations for females in this era. The Duke acknowledges her blushing as mannerisms, however, the use of dashes creates pauses which show uncertainty in his speech, as if he was trying to disguise his jealousy as normality, again upholding his reputation. It shows that he holds criticism against this, revealing that jealousy has sprouted within. This is also shown by the use of punctuation. The exclamation reveals his sarcastic approach to this matter, expressing how he is displeased by what he calls immodest behavior. These values of the Victorian era are also shown in Porphyria's Lover. The tone is set by pathetic fallacy. The atmosphere is enticing and mysterious, reflecting a sense of darkness in the speaker's mind. This enhances Porphyria's presence, but also foreshadows a tragedy that is about to come. Porphyria's presence is like an angel, represented by word choice such as glide, blaze up, and warm. The imagery presented portrays an elegant image of Porphyria, depicting stereotypes of women in the Victorian era. As Porphyria's flirtatious nature is revealed, this creates suspicion within the speaker. The pressure of social expectation has developed his psychotic behavior and thinking. Enjambment creates rushed speech, revealing unsettlement in the speaker's mind. ABABB structure has also been used. Its asymmetry and unusual form implies confusion and irrational thinking. This form reveals his psychopathic character, which foreshadows tragedy in the upcoming. The speaker now controls the lifeless body of Porphyria, a role reversal in which the male is in control, again emphasizing the male-dominant society. This psychotic behavior resembles the jealous Duke in My Last Duchess. Porphyria has been objectified. The verb choice propped implies that she is a doll that he can control. This signifies the gender-biased society and lack of respect for women in the Victorian era in Porphyria's Lover and My Last Duchess. Instead of portraying conservative women in the Victorian era, Browning chooses to represent a woman full of sexual desire and flirtation. He challenges cultural values at the time, both the status barrier and women's modesty in a relationship. The tragic ending shows how cultural expectations can turn love into a doomed romance. Male dominance and wealth was highly valued in the Victorian era. In contrast, the focus of status has shifted to race in the modern era. We Come Apart is published in late 2017, set in Brexit England. Niku's background, race, and broken English is a barrier to acceptance in this society. Furthermore, this makes his relationship with Jess impossible. Terry, who represents a common citizen, expresses negative impressions on immigrants. The metaphor and description, dirty immigrants and rat scum, degrades foreigners. His annoyed attitude highlights the presence of discrimination as he expresses disapproval towards immigrants. The anti-foreigner concept has been normalized in Brexit England. In contrast to the Victorian era, status is determined by race and appearance. The author presents these values through Niku's encounters with the white race. In terms of stereotypes, narcissism has become a common approach for teenagers, depending on others' sufferings to raise their self-worth. To Jess, status is a barrier to love, and dating someone like Niku would lower her value. Although she values him, her concerns prevent further development in their relationship, a barrier which makes their romance doomed. This reflects the modern society. People are obsessed with self-image on social media such as Instagram and Facebook. They create a facade to present themselves as a perfect human. Confidence is derived from acceptance from others, similar to Jess, who relies on her rebellious image to feel accepted in her school community. Both of Browning's dramatic monologues are written in a male voice with psychopathic characters, implying how privilege of male dominance has diminished humanity and morals. In contrast, dual narration of both genders in We Come Apart symbolizes improvement of gender equality since the Victorian era. However, racism and discrimination has emerged instead. Appearance has become the new symbol of power. Similarly, in the Victorian era, women had expectations to follow to be accepted in the society. Themes of power and status have been explored through doomed romances written against social values, allowing exploration of flaws within humanity through a story of love.